Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining this free webinar. Welcome. The topic today is SME's interpretation under EU REACH in 2018. First of all, I will introduce myself. I'm Yifei Ren, and I'm a senior chemical regulatory consultant. Work in industry chemical department in Smes. My main research is about EU REACH, and I'm responsible for EU market in Smes. So if you have any questions after webinar, you could send me an email, and please feel free to let me know about your questions. So as we always do, I will introduce you about our company Smes, Chemical Inspection and Regulation Service Limited. Smes has 5 subsidiaries located in U.S., Ireland, Ningbo, Beijing, and Nanjing in China. Smes is the largest consulting and survey company for EU REACH in global. We provide EU REACH service for global clients, including EU clients and non-EU clients. Our island subsidiaries are only representative of non-EU REACH EU clients under EU REACH. Of course, we provide other regulation service like K-REACH, Taiwan TCSCA, USTSCA, Global GHS, also including chemical and consuming product testing service. As we all know, SME is the engine of EU's economy, even of global economy. Therefore, in order to maintain SME's interests and help SME complying with complex chemical regulation and reduce their financial burden, EU REACH regulation provides administrative fee reduction for SME enterprise. I believe that you want to know how to determine whether my enterprise belongs to SME, what's the document requirement, how is the SME verification. I think you will know the answers after this webinar. So 4 main parts will be explained: identification process of SMEs, SME verification, case analysis from Smes, and a recommendation from Smes. Now let's go to the first part. The first step is to determine the enterprise type. In other words, we have to analyze my enterprise ownership structure, such as capital or voting rights. So in the picture, the blue one means my enterprise, and the orange one means another enterprise. And the percentage showing in the picture means voting rights, capital or shares. So if my enterprise are totally independent, or my enterprise holds less than 25 capital in another, or another enterprise holds less than 25 capital in my enterprise, then my enterprise belongs to autonomous type. If my enterprise holds minimum 25% capital, but no more than 50% capital in another, or another enterprise holds minimum 25 capitals, but no more than 50% in my enterprise, then my enterprise belongs to partner type. So the last one, if my enterprise holds more than 50% capitals in another enterprise, or another enterprise holds more than 50% capital in my enterprise, then my enterprise belongs to link type. So the next step is to certain the reference years of my enterprise related data, such as which year's data is necessary or meaningful for ACA. So the answer is that my data should be in the latest 2 consecutive and complete accounting period. For example, If enterprise they decided to submit registration folder in Reach IT on August 6, 2011, and their closure of counting is December 31st, the end day of each year, then the reference years should be between 2009, December 31st, to 2010, December 21st. And the third step we have to know is to determine the head count and the financial data based on step 1 and step 2. So after knowing the ownership structure and the reference year, we need to certain the required data exactly. 3 required data should be calculated. The first one is staff head count based on annual work units. So full-time employees and part-time employers should be included in this data. The second one is about annual turnover. You have to remember or notice that valued as added tax or other indirect tax are not included. The last document you have to prepare is the annual balance sheet total. You could refer to the value of your company's total assets. Here I introduce you an example about calculation. So as shown in picture, if my enterprise is A and enterprise B has 60% shares or capitals in my enterprise A, while D has 25 shares in enterprise B, and C has 32% of shares in B. So, as for my enterprise A, what will be total required head count or financial data? So the answer, let's see the answer first. The answer is that my total will be 100% of A plus 100% of B plus 32% of C plus 25% of D. So why we calculate like that? So you have to notice that you have to remember that for partner enterprise like C and D, their original proportion of their data should be added into my enterprise A, while for linked enterprise like B, 100% of the data should be added into my enterprise A. So the second question that we made a small change a little bit. So what if there is enterprise E, and enterprise E owns 30% voting rights in enterprise D, but then it's noticed that the answer will be the same. So why? Because partner relationship are not to be considered. Enterprise D are partner of enterprise B, while enterprise E are partner of enterprise D. Then the considered relationship will be stopped between B and D. So that's why the total calculation is the same. So now let's go to the step 4 finally. So after you acquire all necessary data based on correct ownership structure analysis, so correct reference years and accurate calculation, we have to use this data to judge the SME categories according to the criteria threshold. So as shown in this PowerPoint, 3 categories are defined: medium, small, and micro enterprise. So The headcount number based on annual work units has to be satisfied first. Then either annual turnover or balance sheet total should be satisfied. For example, if headcount is less than 250 and either annual turnover no more than 50 million euros or balance sheet total no more than 43 million, then the enterprise belongs to medium category. If headcount is less than 50 people and either annual turnover or balance sheet total less than 10 million, then enterprise belongs to small category enterprise. The last category that if headcount is less than 10 people and either or balance sheet total less than 2 million, then the enterprise belongs to micro size. The next part is about SME verification. So most of you care about SME verification. Like, what's the document requirement of verification? What is the value of SME verification? Now let's see the document requirement for SME verification first. First, you need to submit the documentary showing ownership structure at the date of submission in Rich IT. All direct and or indirect paper, partner and linked enterprise, upstream and downstream. Their shares or voting rights should be submitted as well. The second document is we have to prepare the copies of 4 sets of official financial accounts, together with accompanying notes and annual reports, or 4 sets of tax annual declaration for the 2 latest approved accounting periods, prior the time of each submission. The last document is official certification from an official authority confirming the headcount of staff based on number of annual work units. And at last, for non-English speaking countries outside EU, for example, China, Korea, document with simplified translation in English or any local language from an agency within EU is required, while for non-English speaking countries within EU, document in any local language is accepted. Once ACAR starts verifying your SME application, then the ACAR will give you 21 days, starting from sending notification to you on Rich IT. ACAR always allows you to prepare corresponding document evidence to support or prove your SME application. But if documents provided are either not sufficient for the determination of the size category of your company concerned, or don't support the declared size category of the company concerned, which means the value of SME verification. Then what will be the consequence of value of SME verification? Then ACAR will issue the pertinent supplementary invoice within 21 days. One invoice is about administrative difference fees. Another invoice is about administrative penalty. If you admit the mistake that you are not allowed to apply SME level within 21 days, then the administrative penalty will be halved. Another situation is that if ACA didn't receive 4 invoice payments from enterprise, then ACA will extend the deadline for enterprise around 1 to 2 months. But if you still reject to pay the corresponding fee, then your registration number will be revoked, and your registration fee already paid will not be refunded. So now ACA is doing verification of SME applied between 2011 to 2013. You have to remember and notice that all applied SME enterprise will be verified at different times, early or late. Many applied SME have been found that they are not launched to SME and they are faced with punishment from ACA. After explain related regulation theory, I will introduce you a classic case analysis from Smes to help you understand better about SME. So as shown in this case, if you are Enterprise 1 and you decide to do the registration submission on Reach IT on 2018, February 28th, the end of this month, then the crucial date of the counting in your country is December 31st in each year, and your ownership structures are showing here. Before introduce the ownership structure, I have to tell you that there is Enterprise 1 and Enterprise 2 engage the similar marketing. B, C, D are natural person shareholders, while from this picture, we see that Enterprise 1, assume you are Enterprise 1, and B has 30% of capital vote in Enterprise 1, and C owns 30% of capital vote in Enterprise 1, and D has 40% of capital rights in Enterprise 1. While B also owns 40% of capital votes in Enterprise 2, and C owns 50% capital votes in Enterprise 2. So the question is that how to calculate the headcount and financial data of Enterprise 1. So let's see the answer first. The answer is that the total related data will be 100% of Enterprise A plus 100% of Enterprise B. Why? Because natural person shareholder B and C, they own 30% together in Enterprise 1, and they also own 90% together in Enterprise 2. While Enterprise 1 and Enterprise 2 also engage the similar marketing, so we can judge that Enterprise 1 and Enterprise 2, they are linked relationship. While natural person shareholder B, C, D are not considered since they are natural person shareholders, their share occupation is less than 50%. So therefore, we only consider Enterprise 1 and Enterprise 2. The question 2 is that if Enterprise 1 are a non-English country outside EU, so what is the required document evidence and where these documents could be from? So as I already mentioned before, 3 documents we should prepare. The first one is financial accounting report. According to the closure of accounting time. So in this case, the financial accounting report should be between 2018 December 31st to 2017 December 31st. The second document is the ownership structure documentary, which needs to be submitted at the date of registration submission in Rich IT. So the last one we called official certificate confirming the head count of staff. So it's better that both ownership structure documentary or official certificate confirming the head count of the staff are from an official authority like Social Security Bureau, Inland Revenues, and insurance companies. And I have to mention again that for non-English countries outside EU, certification translation from EU country in any local language within EU is required. So continue to question 2. There is question 3. What if the enterprise 1 is non-English speaking country within EU? What will be the answer changed from question 2? So the submit documents are the same as answered in question 2. But for non-English speaking countries within EU, no translation anymore. And because any local language within EU is accepted. As for the documents from a third party, it depends on local condition and policy. Try to be official as well. So question 4 is that if enterprise 1 declares that it belongs to small size enterprise, the substance registration on tonic bag is 1 to 10 tons per year. If it's worthy to apply SME, so the answers from CS is that it's not recommended to apply SMEs since because maybe the cost for third parties for preparing documents for translation, this cost is too high, and if value of SME verification, administrative penalty is required and larger than 1,304 euro. Because for a low tonnage band, the administrative fee is not too much, and in the meantime, the probability of being verified by ACA becomes higher. The next question is that if enterprise declare that they belong to small size enterprise as well, but the substance registration tonnage band is 10 to 100 ton years, if it's worthy to apply SMEs, the answer will be the same. It's not recommended to apply SME since the cost difference to larger enterprise is not too high. It's only 2,279 euros. So after considering the cost, time consuming for preparing required documents, so it's not worthy to do the SME, and the other reason that if value of SME verification and the cost to correct level is 2,279 euros plus administrative penalty 5,597.5 euros, which is far larger than administration fee. If you register according to the standard enterprise. And also, the probability of being verified becomes higher. So the last question, that the condition is the same, except that the substance registration tonnage bed is 100 to 1,000 ton year. If it's worthy to apply SMEs, the answer will be it depends, because its value of SME verification, the penalty will be around 20,000 euros, and administrative difference fee it's more than 16,000 euros, which is too much. But the large administrative difference fee is also too much. So if your data fee is too high and your enterprise has high financial ability, so we recommend that, CS recommended that it's not worthy to do SME application, because compared to the original administration difference fee and compare with administrative difference fee and your data fee, this original administration difference fee can be negligible. Now it's time to go to the last part. We prepare some recommendation for you. The recommendation is that enterprise, you should check your rich IT account always. Keep your contact details up to date always, since ACA may require at any time evidence that the condition for a reduction of fee applied. So they will send you the message, or they will send you a notification about any verification or any other requirement. The next one is enterprise should assess the company site, covering all relevant links and partner enterprise. So I already mentioned, and I already teach you how to assess your company size category. You can refer to this PowerPoint. The third one is enterprise should be familiar with relevant EU definition before claims that you belong to SMEs. If you couldn't judge whether your enterprise belongs to SMEs or not, it's not recommended to apply SME fee reduction, or you could conduct FIAT first before you decide to apply SME. If the enterprise don't belong to SME anymore after registration, then the registrant could proactively correct your size category. There are two ways. The first way is that you declaring the correct size to ACA's help desk or updating Rich IT account. Then the second is that you pay difference fee up to correct level, then no administrative penalty is required. Enterprise should pay difference fee up to correct levels and the administrative penalty before deadline given by ACA on Rich IT. If not, the registration numbers will be revoked, and administrative penalty are still mandatory as well. And if enterprise should admit the mistakes by giving deadline within 21 calendar days, starting from ACA send you the notification on Rich IT, then only half of administrative penalty need to be paid. For The last two suggestions is that for two tarnish-bad substance, it's not recommended to apply SME fee reduction, since the administration difference fee is not too much, which are almost the same as or even less than other additional costs, such as translation cost, label cost for preparing documents. And for substance required high data fee, it's not recommended to apply SME fee as well. Once value of SME verification occurs, we believe that you prefer to pay administration fee difference and penalty rather than giving up registration numbers. If you need to know more information about SME, you could refer to this link. So here is notification about Sales next free webinar. The webinar will be next week, February 12th, at the same time, and my colleague Brand Zhou will introduce you about LOA cost sharing and practical case analysis. We will look forward to your join. So you could refer to the registration links to take a registration, and then you just join directly online. So thanks for your listening. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know or send me the email at any time.